Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kyle Berry Sr. and I senior The Messenger. The Messenger is my favorite game. It is an action-adventure platformer developed by Sabotage Studio and released in August 30th, 2018, the same year that it won Best Debut Indie Game. I'm very excited to share this game with you, and I hope that you guys enjoy the run. The run timing will begin from name confirmation, so right now. As we load into the game, just to talk a little bit about what the game is, in The Messenger you play as a young ninja from a ninja village on the western edge of an island. Your clan has been tasked with training from birth to fulfill this prophecy. The demon army is going to attack every 500 years, and humanity better be ready for it. We're going to get a scroll, and our job is to take it to the top of a mountain, where we're going to help some blue-robed figures summon the Tower of Time and see if we're worthy to become the Messenger. The 8-bit run concludes with the final test that the Messenger faces before continuing on the rest of their quest. So it is only really about a fourth of the run, but provides an excellent showcase of the Messenger's core movement functionality. In the Ninja Village, the level we're in right now, we primarily focus on the cloud step mechanic, as you can see in those banners on the dojo back there, the cloud over the sword. These are the lines under the ninja's feet that we see whenever we hit something midair. Scroll! That is a jump refresh for just striking anything midair. It makes the movement in this game very, very crisp, very tight, and the flow is just extremely satisfying. Here we see the Western hero, true to the prophecy, swoop in to save us from the attacking demon army, and they kill two of these fire kappa enemies, showing us that every enemy in this game has a 40% chance to drop a time shard, and fortunately we got one, so we call that a homie shard. That's going to increase our chances ever so slightly of not having to go to the wall before the first shot. If we have to get extra shards from the wall, that's going to cost about half a second. So hoping to look out for that. Every ninja should stay hydrated. Now we're leaving the charred remains of part of our village. Most of our clan is fine. We're going to leave the Torii for the final time, this wooden gate here, and head out on our quest. Seeing me slap these turtles, a quick explanation of what we call a turtle boost. It also works with these blocks here. Any object that typically takes like more than one hit to destroy it, it's not just like a lantern or something. So bosses, turtles, blocks, whatever, even the wizard enemies. You can actually get a boost off of them by slashing the opposite direction first and then spinning into the enemy. This confuses it. It's like, okay, where did that slash come from? I'm going to push you and you're going to go a little bit faster. On to our friend Shopkeeper, who has the cutest shops in town and is going to give us the climbing claws free of charge, enabling us to climb these walls. So quick shout out to John Guyton for designing those claws for us with extra spider hair. We're going to scoop this falling durian fruit and hopefully be well on our way. We are getting a little clip there, unfortunately, but these small damage boosts don't set us back too much. We will later get an upgrade that lets us press jump when we get hit midair to use second wind and recover out of that. Ordinarily in runs we would just jump into the spike pit and hope we get boosted right. It's pretty accurate, but you can get boosted left and end up dying, so for safety's sake I'm going to ride the platform. Not only does that only lose half a second, but it gives us another 6 shards that we can use wherever. It's really going to help us make sure we hit our goal for Bamboo Creek. People listening into the awesome soundtrack from Rainbow Dragon Eyes will have observed the audio muffling just a bit as we went underwater. Just another really nice touch from the composer and sound team there. Unfortunately forgetting that with all that extra health I am supposed to jump through that saw. Save a little bit of time, but that's alright. We got plenty of time save in the future. So we are on a pretty good cycle here. We're just gonna take a little damage boost. Got the health. We're gonna do a slightly safer for marathon strategy of hitting that projectile and jumping over the tower. I know it looks scary, but trust me, with practice, you'll be confident in doing that and only die maybe like every 1 out of 20 times, something like that. Fortunately, due to our friend Corbel, there's no game over system. we will only get reset to the last checkpoint if we die, and that is tremendously useful. As here I'm going to have to slow down to evade getting hit by the spike ball cycle. So cycles like moving objects will start moving once Ninja enters a room, which means that you have to be really smooth through each room to get the cycles you're looking for. Otherwise, if you make a mistake, it kind of gives you a hint like, hey, you're going to have to adjust your strategy coming ahead. And one of the wonderful things about the Messenger is that there are so many ways to approach each room. Strats aren't necessarily like the right strat, and even if something is faster, there might be something that only loses a small amount but is just exponentially safer. So in that case, here we're going to take a damage boost on that Skiraboo instead of trying to damageless jump over both of them, which is possible and slightly faster, but much, much harder. As that damage boost sets us up very nicely for a good jump down into the cave, missing the wall, getting all the time shards. Gonna do one final quick cliff climb and we're wrapping up the Autumn Hills here. It's a fundamental stage because we don't really have any tools yet we're still forced to use all of our fundamentals to the best of our ability, including shopping, which can be very difficult. The reason I scrolled down to exit the shop there instead of spamming the back button is because it's actually a little bit faster to manually exit that way. Shout outs to Piranha Pig for, I guess, identifying that that was a thing. And here we have the first boss, the Leaf Golem. Just going to kind of run into him, spam Shuriken, and then get on the right side of him. And that is a very scary kill. The community actually calls this the Scary Berry kill. Although I did not come up with this strategy, that I believe belongs to Taker. However, I was crazy enough to try and execute it in the runs, and fortunately today, amazing minds like Sword of Alpha and Grandius and Assassin Narga, there's too many awesome people in the community to name you all, so I apologize. But they've come up with, of course, wonderful methods to optimize not only the speed of the game, but the safety as well. So getting little ducks in can help us mitigate moving back to the left while we're trying to proceed through the boss. Anyway, we saw a quick exposure to Forlorn Temple, a stage we'll see later in the game, but we're just failing the jump program for now. And going down to see our friend Necro, who is a little Fobekin back there. So named because he's supposed to be afraid of the dead, so we find him here in the Catacombs, my favorite level. Here we say, hi Ruxton, hi Spooky Staff, to our level boss and their imposing staff companion. We'll be seeing them in just a little bit, but first they're going to try to throw some low-level baddies at us to throw us down. Big shoutouts to Black SR for the aquatic butt boost, actually discovering that Ninja moves faster when damaged underwater. So if you take a hit from the spikes there, get boosted to the right, and don't try to recover in the water until you're to the right. You can actually beat that Crusher cycle and skip both of them. That saves 1.2 seconds. This room has a really nice flow because you can take your time and get all these time shards. You're still not going to beat the cycle for this Crusher. Recently there was a cycle skip that was discovered by ducking into the room above, which is really clever because that exploits the way that Crushers and things begin moving when you enter the room. So you just reset the cycle and can make it on a more optimal pace. However, it is insanely difficult. So I won't be doing that. Not yet. These Crushers are one of the only ones that don't necessarily start moving when you enter the room. They kind of wait until they detect Ninja by scooping into their vertical level. And do some quick wall climbing through this platform room. Lots of lanterns. It somehow got named the Lantern Room, and it precedes the setup room for Badonkadonk. Probably my favorite trick that I've discovered, and the community named. We have fun with our naming here. We're going to try to get this Cloud Step. Jump up and grab the Cloud Step from that lantern, and we actually jumped over a big square-shaped cutscene trigger that would have caused Ruxton to interrupt our movement, make us sit there while he summoned in 3 wizards for us to deal with before we could advance. So that saves about 8 seconds, a figure you'll hear quoted often in this run. And we'll be moving on with Shuriken to spare. Quick shoutouts to Ishvinder's favorite room here with the bats. Very nice. And this was my favorite room until the room we call Hail Mary now. The third one in Tower of Time at the end of the run. Very dangerous room, but exciting movement. There is a dangerous strategy that can jump around that Crusher, or Spike Ball, excuse me. But I'm certainly not feeling bold enough to go for that every run. Sometimes I figure, what the heck, this might be cheeky to pull off, but not in races or events, you know. Hi Ruxton, hi Spooky Staff, I love you boys. We like to say hi to them specifically, not hey and especially not hello. We want them to spawn on the high platform and not the low. That's awesome, that saves us about 6.5 seconds because they immediately start here and we can just go right over to the boss and start hitting them. It's possible if you nail your right side movement to get there early enough to actually kill Ruxton on the top platform for a perfect kill. This is pretty rare, but can be done consistently with practice. Well, semi-consistently. Let's go, Bamboo Crew, and we're gonna hear a song we call the Bamboo Boogaloo, the song of our people given to us from the composer Rainbow Dragon Eyes, now with some updated lyrics. I like pizza pie is really fly. I like to eat pizza pie, the kind with lots of cheese inside. Bring me pizza pie and a couple serviettes because it is so greasy. Did I mention I like pizza pie? We like to sing because the music is amazing, and because you know, even if you're not the best singer, if you got a song in your heart, you gotta sing it. Especially if you have some superstitious belief that it's gonna improve your chances to nail the N2 skip later in the level. We're seeing some rare spaghetti at the start of this room. I promise this doesn't happen often. No problem, we're just gonna cruise through, get that Skaloot looking Hydra Medusa enemy in the way. Jump over our Wanderer friend and hopefully catch a ride. You want to ride those moving platforms as long as possible, as that gives you the slightest speed boost forward. Definitely worth it. Now if we fail to jump over that tree, doing what we call fireless, it is possible to do that swift turn to the left, catch a fireball, and jump over. Going over that tree is not considered out of bounds in this category because the screen does not scroll or transfer at all while Ninja is overhead. And you can still see Ninja in the HUD. Uh-oh. N2 skip a little bit rough, but we got it on the backup. Only a minor loss there. See if we can prevent it turning into a major one. Good, good. We're gonna Super Mario Bros. This Kappa. Round 2 of Bamboo Boogaloo. Get good safe height from that platform, jumping, slashing up. And we're doing a lot of what we call double lantern jump, which will really help you bring your messenger gameplay to the next level. It's kind of like rising and falling motion. You can kind of see that curve. You can slash, and if you slash and then jump, you have the cloud step. And you jump, slash, you jump up, you get the cloud step. As you practice with it and keeping your cloud step and gaining height, you can ascend ever further and pull off some seriously amazing acrobatic feats. So now going into the Howling Grotto, a really cool emerald stream cave system. Very tight level, feels, you know, enclosed as a cave should. But still, you know, has this feeling of wind and freedom blowing through it. Which, you know, harkens back to the inhabitants of this cave, which believed that the wind was the breath of a god. Or gods, I forget the specific text at the moment. Are they monotheistic, polytheistic? If you're interested in the Messenger lore, please, I encourage you to join the Sabotage Studio official Discord. They have a lot of Messenger fans and a lot of lore discussion there, including an entire augmented reality game. So, jumping and slashing through the corridors here. Very narrow, as promised. We have some DJ rock jammers here. Their official name is Boulder Douche. It's a fun fact. The Messenger has very fun enemy naming conventions. One of the many things that I love about this studio. if you heard that hey in the background, that's a little bit crunch sound of all the devs actually yelling hey, which is another thing that I love. We use that to track our performance through this level. If you hear only one hey by the end of the level, then that's a hey skip. And it's, you know, it's considered very fast. There's also a category extension called hey%, which is one of my favorite categories. Currently have the world record in the new game version of it. And the goal of hey% is to hear all 5 hey sounds in the game. So, Bamboo Creek 16-bit, Howling Grotto 8 and 16-bit, and Elemental Skylands 8 and 16-bit. Seeing a water boost there is the only place we're actually going to boost in the 8-bit part of the run, unfortunately. But it is possible to jump out of the water while going very fast and preserve your momentum by wingsuit gliding. You can also then grab a cloud step, and if you nail it in a 2-frame window, you can jump out of the room transition into the next room and clear that entire gap going very fast. It's called the God Yeet, and I get it maybe 10% of the time. Fortunately, it is extremely unlikely to kill me unless I make several mistakes. Get a nice little boost off that wizard, jump up here, and will we get the hay skip? Let's find out. No, we did not. We heard the hay clear and audible right at the end of the level. That's no hay skip. But still happy with that Howling Grotto. Now we see the Emerald Golem, the boss of this level. The goal is to hit that Emerald Smash Ball in the center 7 times, then hit it with a shuriken from the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the 8th hit. And then we go up. If we have to use the other shuriken, it's a bit unfortunate, but we can adapt. We just won't have another shuriken for the 3rd phase. Counting is hard, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so this cycle should be looking pretty good. It's possible to slash early in this game and have that decaying slash hit right as a new slash hits. So right on the approach on any enemy, you can get 2 hits, which can be, you know, of course, very handy. No shuriken to kill him. If we have shuriken, it's possible to throw that for the last hit, causing our momentum to drop us downward below the screen, actually saving time in this post-kill cutscene, as Ninja doesn't have to glide as far to the ground. We didn't get it that time, but screen position was pretty low. It was very minor time loss. Now the saddest part of this kill, every time we have to senselessly destroy their golem, and they'll forgive us, but they're very sad about it. It turns out they were just mining in these caves, and we came along and busted up their golem, thinking that they were threatening our life. It's an understandable mistake, but very unfortunate. Now moving into Quillstream Marsh, one of my favorite levels, because if you look in the background, some of the platforms with faces and the lanterns here will actually sing along with their own voice in this song. So I'll call it out a little bit later. Right now we're just grooving along, trying to get some clean drops and holding right, as this is the longest room in the game, and you can move through it optimally without letting go of right. Coming up, mushrooms are singing in about 3, 2, 1. I was a little off. Look at them go, aren't they cute? We're gonna go for a really cursed turtle boost there, and it worked. Actually getting 2 there. I may have slowed myself down by turning around midair. I'm not exactly sure. But if you turn midair in this game and you change directions, that will slow you down until you touch the ground. So a very important thing to keep in mind. Jump over this boomerang. Not quite. Clip my toe. Ow. But we're going to throw the shuriken under that guy to open the switch and move right on. Fun fact about those wall axers, the little jam jar plants, you can jump off the top of them if you're quick enough. There's always health in that lower lantern, so you should always grab it. There's not much reason not to. Ah, Forbidden Turtle Boost, living up to its name. Pipa gave us a great setup for throwing these shuriken at the apex of our jump there, killing the enemy and hitting the switch behind it. We could just kind of advance effortlessly. Now we have 4 HP, so normally I wouldn't grab HP. but for safety, the next room can be pretty dangerous. We call it the bully zone. We almost got through with 1 hit. It's standard to take 2 hits. Very good if it can be done with 1. Sometimes it likes to hit you 3 times, so you never want to enter that room with less than 4 HP. Alright, if you can get damageless past that Kappa, there is a cycle you can make where you climb that wall at the end on the right side. But it is, of course, very risky, and if you fail any part of it, it's a clear warning sign to back off or you will die. So typically you know when you have it, and you know when you don't have it. We say hi to our friend here. She is a son of a beautiful cheese, the Queen of Quills. Once a fallen messenger that took out the Primal Fear. Now unfortunately cursed as she took the beast down. And trying to turn us into one of those mushroom soldiers. Yikes. Unfortunately, she jumped to the left, which loses us a couple seconds, but that was previously the quickest kill, not counting the RNG loss. We call it whipless, because she never got to the point in the fight where she attacks with her whip. Fun fact about whips, the Queen of Quills whip and Seuss's loincloth whip are the only 2 attacks in the game that deal 2 damage to Ninja. If you kill that meatball, it's good luck. So moving on to Searing Crags, I like to call it the aggro crag for any Nickelodeon fans out there. Shopkeeper is going to give us a rope dart, thank you very much. We're going to buy an extra health and the ability to get health drops from enemies at 15%. So that'll help us be a little bit more survivable. That there was a 1 HP globe that boulder guy dropped. I am going to hit spikes there, unfortunately, but we're going to hit a checkpoint and get back up to 3 health for passing over it. Now I took a risk there going for what we call the pupa slide, which is, you know, a community favorite. However, it is not too risky because even if I die there, the checkpoint is 1 room behind. And we would like the opportunity to talk about our friend, the homie in red, Corbel, but they may or may not show up this run. We have yet to see. For now, we're just trying to use the tools that we got. We're going to rope dart everything. That's the motto. Use the rope dart to climb walls, grab lanterns, grab enemies. It even gives us iframes, lets us teleport, lets us leash enemies to other rooms. Okay, I'll calm down. It's an amazingly versatile tool, and we use it to no end. Speaking of teleports, we're going to try to land there to spawn that Poursuivant Piquant enemy. Slash dart. And that actually caused us to teleport to another of the same enemy that was sleeping underground, waiting for us to come by. Unfortunately, I've whiffed that jump, but we have a somewhat slow backup. Brief explanation about teleports. If you are rope darting to an enemy that dies before the rope dart animation finishes, but the enemy dies right at the same time as the same creature type appears elsewhere on your screen, you'll teleport to that new creature type as if nothing happened. It's pretty neat. There's one in Searing Crags here and one in Glacial Peak, the next stage, and that's it for 8-bit teleports. Alright, so the steam coming from Kolos's ears here indicates that we've defeated Seuss's already. So he's knocked out. We just got to get Kolos's HP down to 9. And with a double run, he should be pretty quickly knocked out here as well. We've gotten pretty good pattern. They each have 3 possible attacks that they can throw at us, and they didn't give us any of the gnarlier ones, so fortunately saving some time there. As it turns out, they're just 2 dudes that are really into fitness, and they just wanted to work out with Ninja and see what kind of moves that we got. So after a great workout, they opt to rest by their cauldron until their stew is ready to eat. And gave us a helpful punt to help us climb their mountain. So here we put shovel please, sour please, any dancing modes you love into chat. as we go up the Frostiest level, a tribute to all the tools and skills we've learned so far. This is where the game really kind of comes together and the movement gets almost fully completed. At least as far as 8-bit, these are all of the tools that we're going to get. And we're at our full potential as Ninja. Watching out not to get clipped here. Shoutouts to Axe2U who found this off-screen Hansan. Hansan is what we call when you rope dart to a one-tile block, which doesn't have enough space to grab, so Ninja will just fall off of it. Like right there. Just trying to use rope dart to its fullest, as this is just only going to accelerate us. We got Brazilian Ice Climber and then stumbled for a second. The Brazilian Ice Climber is a homage to the runner Koslyev from Brazil, who got into the habit of skipping that first snow wall on that climb back there. Okay, going for a rare second try one tile. Normally we would just revert to bouncy pad. Not quite getting the teleport right there. That's where it was. But you can see from the other enemy dying with what we call a screen wrap kill that if my timing was a little bit better, I would have had the teleport there. So about a second loss, but no big deal. We're going to wait to land after rope darting through a lantern, as that animation through the lantern will cause us to be slow until we touch the ground. Especially if we're going to go and jump, that would be a very bad idea. Although this really only contributes to one of very many small things that are very minor time losses, it's good to be cognizant of all of these things going through the whole run. So now that we have the scroll up here attuned to time magic, we're actually able to call the Tower of Time back from the void. And we're all going to enter the tower where they'll put us through the time gauntlet. Final test for Messenger before they carry the scroll on the rest of their quest. See if we're worthy. So pay no mind to the corpses in the background. Do not walk headfirst into the lasers at the start of the level. And enjoy the music. We are able to slash crystals through the wall there by grabbing the wall, holding left, pressing slash, and then jump shortly thereafter, causing the slash to go backwards through the wall. And we say Hail Mary. Hope to get that second damage boost and use those iframes to barely skate through the laser. That is currently my favorite room. It was kind to us today. Alright, a little bit sloppy, but we got through there. Wizard's gonna go actually a really nice position because I messed up that setup, but we can grab the bullet and damage boost through, no problem. Normally we would hit the crystal back there to disactivate the laser, but alright, we got to show off a pencil dive where the wizard chooses to occupy the middle of the Pez dispenser. You can still do a really close to the wall flush drop and pass by them unharmed. Shoutouts to my mentor Kuningus and his Kuni one cycle room, which I have missed the one cycle on. We always pray that these eyeballs give health. If we have at least 3 HP, then 1 health drop can allow us to do what's called the French Connection. If we have 5 HP, then we can just go through these lasers. The French Connection is a really interesting trick, which involves jumping into the spikes on this moving platform, so that you take 3 damage from the spikes rather than 4 from the laser. And you can use those iframes to rope dart climb up that whole wall with only 4 HP. Really kind of an intense end of run level. 8-bit's sort of an odd category because it just ends in the middle of the run, but it feels like the end of an 8-bit platform. It feels very epic and conclusive, and you know, has probably the prettiest boss in the game at the end. So it's very good to get super comfortable with this level, otherwise it will deny so many runs. We have a modified version of Ojos de Black. We're going for eyeball damage boosts to take one hit of laser later. It is possible to take 2 hits from eyes so that you only lose 2 HP there. But we weren't that precise this time, and we ended up killing the eye we were meant to damage boost off of. Just going through the time waster room here, going through this crystal puzzle, we are going to abuse one of them to skip 2 cells. That saves 6 seconds. And now coming up here, nothing fancy, no crazy kicky boy. I am just going to rope dart off of this first block and proceed. We can slash while Ninja is still in a rolling animation to land instantly and then do the jump sooner. We're going to try to jump over the lasers. Unfortunately, we got too excited and hit our toe into the first laser. But due to the iframe properties of the rope dart, as long as our execution is good, we should not take more than 2 damage on this fight. This is the final fight of the 8-bit segment, the Timekeeper, the Arcane Golem. Please clap your hands. We're going to get right here in the middle of the head, in the middle of the Arcane Spark necklace. And the trick to this fight is to try to reattach to the face as soon as you've been clapped away to mitigate your time away from doing damage. Like that. That was pretty dangerous. It could be about a minute time loss if we die there, so it's included in the estimate, but fortunately we were able to persevere. So that is the end of the 8-bit. As soon as the Arcane Golem has received its last hit,